William Galison, Citizens Against Judicial Corruption.
Thank you, Chairman and committee, for having me here. I just want to say, first of all, that every speaker, except for the last one, has been given 7 minutes.
What we've tried to do is to allot 7 minutes to individuals representing organizations.
Yes, I represent the Black Star News, which is the second African-American newspaper in New York City. And I also represent, as you just mentioned, a union of New York citizens.
And we've tried to limit it to heads of, if you notice, there have been former judges and other individuals who are testifying for 3 minutes. So we're trying to be...
But I am representing an organization, Black Star News.
Could you please start and testify? I'll try and stretch it a little bit, but
I appreciate
start,
that.
I'd appreciate
Thank you.
it now.
Okay. I am here to support pay raises for judges, but only those judges who strictly adhere to the rules and principles they are vowed to uphold. Those judges who fail to uphold these rules and principles must not receive pay raises and must be punished for their misconduct. Therefore, there cannot be pay raises until there exists an honest, effective agency that can determine which judges are doing their jobs properly and which ones are not. At this time, no such agency exists. The purpose of my testimony today is to prove that the Commission for Judicial Conduct is corrupt and dysfunctional and does not serve its function. To illustrate this dysfunction, I will present 3 examples of judges who have violated judicial rules and criminal laws and whose misconduct the CJC has corruptly ignored. The first example is a New York Supreme Court judge, now retired, Judge Herman Kahn. Judge Kahn broke judicial rules and criminal laws by withholding unsealed transcripts of a case from a party in that case. A complaint was made to the CJC, who after a year of deliberating simply declared that they found no evidence of wrongdoing. The absurdity of that statement is clear to anyone who examines the complaint, which is over 120 pages long, which I have submitted to the committee here today, which I will be submitting to the committee today. The second judge whose misconduct was covered up by the CJC is Chief Judge Jonathan Littman. A complaint against Littman alleging judicial and criminal misconduct was officially submitted to the CJC weeks in advance of the Senate hearings for his nomination in January of 2009. The complaint was pending before the CJC during the nomination hearings, but the CJC withheld it from the Senate Judiciary Committee so that it could not be considered by the full Senate in its vote. And Mr. Tembekian, the head of the CJC, was present at the nomination hearing, which was entirely inappropriate. And he should have barged in and said, we have to stop this meeting until this complaint has been adjudicated. The third complaint is not from me, but from a friend who could not be here today. His complaint was made to the CJC, but it was also made to the FBI, and I'm going to read it. It's a quote. On January 14, 2009, Judge Joseph G. Golia, who's Mr. Rumsey's predecessor as the president of the Association of New York State Supreme Court Justices, that's my interjection, sent 2 detectives from the Queens VA Bureau to kidnap me, intimidate me, and threaten that if I filed a complaint against him, I would be in serious danger. Despite these threats, I filed a complaint with the Ethics Committee of the Office of Court Administration, alleging that Golia had made substantial misrepresentations on his financial disclosure forms over 7 years of reporting. As a result of my allegations, the Ethics Committee sent Judge Golia a demand for correction. On April 9, 2010, I was informed by the Ethics Committee that Golia had amended his financial disclosure forms as a result of my complaint. Making representations on a financial disclosure form is a felony. I believe that Golia made at least 12 misrepresentations on his disclosure statements. I assume Golia does not want to go to jail, and he's already threatened my life with retaliation if I brought his crimes to the attention of the authorities, which I have done. I believe that Golia will try by any means to prevent me from pursuing this matter and testifying against him. Therefore, I believe that my life is in grave danger, having been threatened by a judge with such extraordinary influence over law enforcement and agencies. Therefore, I'm requesting witness protection by the FBI to ensure my personal safety. End quote. That letter was written by Mr. Sonny Shu, who could not be here today because 3 days after announcing to the OCA that Golia had lied on his amended financial disclosure form, Mr. Shu was found lying in the street in a coma, and he died hours later. The medical examiner ruled the cause of death as blunt force trauma to the head with skull.
I'm going to have to ask you to conclude.
As blunt force trauma to the head with skull fractures and brain injuries, and that the manner of death was undetermined. Under New York law, an undetermined death must be investigated. But over a year after his death, Sonny Shu's death has never been investigated, and neither have the allegations of financial disclosure fraud by Golia, nor have the complaints Sonny Shu made about Golia to the CJC. I invite your questions.
Are there any questions? And could you make sure that we have a copy of your statement?
Oh, yes, you will. By the way, they were the subject of 2 articles in the Black Star News, which has gone viral over the internet, has now been released in the UK, and is going viral over there. We've been on the radio. I was on a radio show with 2 million listeners the other day, and we're going to be on the radio tonight discussing this fact. If you're worried about the perception...
Sir? Thank you. Thank you.
Are there no questions about that? Are there no questions from the committee about the murder of Sonny Shu?
Sir, that's not why we're here.
No.
So thank you very
I
much.
explained the relevance of the murder of Sonny Shu.
And we understood that well. Thank you so much.
Well, I think that says it all.
The Honorable Lance D. Clark, past President, Nassau County Bar Association.